Pakistan, they tell a story of an impoverished man and wife who had a son born to them one summer night under a lucky star. So beautiful was their infant, they knew that destiny had sent him to be king. They took him to the wisest man in all the land, a soothsayer who read the stars. Tell us of his future, they begged. The wise man held the child and considered the constellations above him. Pity this infant, he said at last. He will be poor and sickly, with nothing to eat and rags to wear, until he reaches the age of 10. Yes, and then what, the parents asked eagerly, for they were more than expectant. Then, between the ages of 10 and 20, he will have the pox, will grow as thin as a cypress, because famine will strike in your village. And in his 21st year, he will lose all his hair from a fever. Yes, said the parents, still holding their breaths in anticipation. And then what? By then, said the soothsayer, he will have lived with misfortune for 21 years, and he will be used to it.
451 West 61st. Go through the park, okay?
Pull over, please.
For what?
Go on, pull over.
How about we stand up for the common man, okay? Why should we be intimidated?
It looks clean. What do you think? They don't figure him for this kind of a move.
Lady, you saw my speedometer. I asked you, what was it? 28? 29, tops, right?
Hey, license, please.
Yes, sir.
He didn't do anything.
Oh?
But I'll talk to him.
That's a tiger you got there, lady.
Night right after closing, 2 a.m. They said to me, wear a red shirt, kid, outside your pants. And they tell me, Barney, tonight you're the last one out of the bar except for the owner. When you come out, that way we know he's in there all by himself, just him and the 12 grand.
How many do you think?
5. They got at least 2 pieces. I know Charlie carries a 38. He likes to spin the cylinder. Oh, yeah, before the hit, I got a call at 11 sharp. If I say the baby's sleeping, that means everything's okay. Or if I say the baby's awake, that means the boss already took the receipts or something else is fouled up, so the hit's off. It's funny. You know, you go along day after day, nothing, you know? And all in one day, you bring your kid home from getting born. Some creep like Charlie tells you what color shirt to wear. So now what?
Make the call at 11. Tell him the baby's sleeping.
The soothsayer of Pakistan, who held an infant in his arms and called down the wisdom of the stars, never knew Barney's sonnets. If he had, he might have said there is more to life, more to the fate of man, than simply getting used to it.
What did they say?
You told them?
Yeah.
So, what did they say?
They said you're okay, they made a mistake.
See, like I told you see? You gotta stand up.
Now and then under the stars there comes a moment when a man looks for the 100th time into the face of misfortune and is given a choice. To say, I will get used to it, or to say, if I ever get used to it, I am lost. Such a moment is about to come to a man like Barney Saunders, age 25, 451 West 61st Street, New York City.
Hi, Mr. Slate.
Okay.
Hold it, right where you are.
Hey, somebody get shot? I could have sworn I heard a shot.
Sure you heard a shot. So did we. How come they haven't got you on a wall with us?
Hey, I want you to check that car, the sidewalk, this alleyway, the ash cans, and all the stairs up and down the block.
What have we done anyway? A guy can't take a walk without a rouse.
I want you all to stay where you are. And I want you to turn around. Just stand right next to that fence and don't move.
Hey, who are these guys? What are they doing in this neighborhood?
What do you mean, who are we? Who are we supposed to be? We come here to get a nightcap.
Hey, yeah, I know you. You're Charlie, right? You've been at my place lots of times. You're a friend of Barney Saunders, right?
Tell it to the cop, not me.
Yeah, that's right. He's a customer.
Hey, some customer, Mr. Slate.
You know my name?
How about that, fellas? Just 5 minutes late, and look what happens. Not only don't we get that drink, we get shot at and pushed around, and you talk about justice.
That can over there, sir.
Frank, better call Mike, tell him we need a wagon.
Yeah.
You never saw this gun before, did you?
You can make book, I didn't.
You mean they were gonna rob me? Yeah, I know you, Charlie. You know me. You've been at my place lots of times, you know. Third stool, bourbon and water, right, friend of Barney's? How could you do this? How'd you figure to get away with it? Especially if, I could identify you after.
Because you're a dead man, Mr. Slade. Or as close as you could come to it. No prints, no making the guns in the alley. You want to have another try at Charlie before I bring him downtown?
You know, one of these days, some good citizen is going to donate the services of a masseur or a masseuse. I never know who's who. No, I don't want to see him again. Run him downtown. Let the boy shoot some new profiles of him and add another paragraph to his yellow sheet.
Mike, Charlie doesn't know whether or not we have him making that gun. Why don't we tell him that our lab boys got a clean thumbprint off the hammer? His print.
Please believe me. He wiped it real clean, and he knows it.
Wait a minute, who wipes a hammer? He may bite.
Then there's also that possibility he might be telling the truth.
That's ridiculous. All of a sudden, we're not trusting Barney Sonners? I'd have had Charlie and these boys if we'd just let him go one step further.
You think I was wrong, and you were right, huh?
Well, there's a big difference between attempted robbery and armed robbery in the first.
That's the DA's problem, not ours. All I know is it's a new day. The bar owner is probably having his breakfast right now. And you and Frank aren't in the morgue. One less crime has been committed in my precinct. Nobody got shot. In my book, that's a good night's work.
Frank.
Yeah?
There's two gentlemen out here to see you. Link Toland, his attorney, about Charlie Briggs.
Either of them happen to be a masseur. Send him in.
Lieutenant, I'm Harold Lowenson. This is all outside my field, I'm afraid. Criminal law, I'm in the corporate end of it, but as Mr. Toland's business is my concern, he felt that I should sit on top of this matter.
Just what matter is it, Mr. Lowenson, you want to sit on?
Last night's unfortunate mistake. The arrest of Charles Briggs and some of his friends.
We could have saved you the time. He's on his way downtown. Try the DA's office.
Mr. Toland felt that we might save the police department a lot of embarrassment and even nip in the bud a suit for false arrest if, and I do say if, such a suit should arise. Mr. Toland felt...
Why don't you let Mr. Toland tell us how he feels?
Owing to Mr. Toland's recent accident, he has lost the use of his voice. Perhaps after a year, he might be able to tell you what he really feels. Now, would you please look at these papers?
So?
When you permitted Mr. Briggs that one phone call last night, he called Mr. Toland his employer. Mr. Briggs has been employed as a salesman with Mr. Toland's company for over a year now, and he's acquitted himself with worth and honesty. Mr. Toland believes in him and intends to stand by him. He told Mr. Toland that, I quote now, he felt someone was putting the squeeze on him, trying to frame him. He felt that could only be one man, a bartender employed at a cocktail lounge near the scene of last night's arrest, a man named Barney Sonners. You'll find his background there in those papers. Reform school, arrest for assault and battery, long list of bad debts and worse credits.
So?
Surely you don't intend to take the word of a man like Barney Sonners?
Ask Mr. Toland how he feels about Charlie Briggs. Ask him if he wants me to sketch out his criminal background.
Mr. Toland knows all about that. But as a citizen very active in local charities, one of them happens to be the assistance of ex-convicts. If businessmen of Mr. Toland's status didn't help rehabilitate men back into society, what hope would there be for people?
I guess there isn't any. It's a hopeless mess, the whole city.
Don't try to be flippant with me, Lieutenant. I'm here to offer my assistance and to try to prevent a miscarriage of justice, not to exchange abusive remarks with you. Now, we can prove that this Barney Saunders borrowed $500 from Charlie Briggs. And this is how he planned to avoid repaying it, by framing an innocent man. He knew, obviously, that Charlie Briggs was on probation, and he knew that a charge as serious as this had sent him back to prison, thus obviating the necessity to repay the loan.
I've been on duty for the last 19 hours. I missed my dinner last night, and I missed my breakfast this morning. I am in a highly irascible mood. At this moment, questionable public servant. I suggest that you go down to the DA's office and get in touch with someone who's a little fresher and a lot more sympathetic.
Yup, Keith. I gotta talk to your daddy, Keith.
Morning, Mr. Hannon.
I gotta talk to you, Barney.
Can we make it later? I didn't get much sleep. Sat up all night listening to be sure he was breathing. But he's fine. He's going to be just fine.
Barney,
They keep saying the same thing, Mr. Saunders. Only they say it an extra 28 cents every day. They keep saying, well, how about the bill?
On account, okay?
Yeah. Thanks, Mr. Saunders.
Take this to your mommy and go eat your breakfast. Mr. Hannon, do you know much about blood types?
look, Barney, as far as I'm concerned, you and your family are good people, fine tenants.
I'm type O myself. Most people are. You know, the man in the street strictly O's. No class. Now, Penny, she's AB. Only 3% of the population is AB. Wouldn't you know she'd be something special?
I mean, he's got to make payments, too. You'd think he owns this building? The bank, that's who.
She had these special things Penny had. RH factor, the doc called them. But all I know is it took a lot of doctors and nurses and blood transfusions. Sort of cramped our style, you know? Put us in a little squeeze.
Barney, by Friday, that's what Mr. Harley told me to tell you. By Friday, or else you gotta move.
Well, maybe I could pay part of it by then. Say, $50.
I'll ask him. I'll ask him, Barney. Oh, Barney, how's the missus doing?
Oh, fine, thanks, just fine.
What are you gonna name him?
Lawrence Tyler, after her dad. He was a real Southern gentleman, Penny tells me.
See you Friday, Barney.
Yeah, Friday.
Barney, my boy. You're some guy, believe me. Let me tell you something.
What's the matter, Mr. Slade?
What's the matter, he asked me. You only saved my life last night. What's the matter? Look, Barney, don't be modest with me. Detective Flynn told me how you tipped him off. And how they tried to get you to go on the robbery and you went to the police when they tried to proposition you. And how you've been working hand in hand with the police for over a month. Barney, baby, starting right now, you get a $10 a week raise.
Well, thanks, Mr. Slade.
Hello? Yeah, he's right here. Yeah, it's for you.
Hello? Who's this?
What is it, Barney?
It was some crank.
What'd he say?
He said he hopes I save my money because I'm going to need it if I live that long.
Who'd want to say a thing like that?
It was weird. It was like no other voice I ever heard before. Kenny said you called. You read the afternoon papers? One paper, there's a cartoon on the editorial page. Me as David and Charlie's mob as a five-headed Goliath. And I got a sling in one hand entitled Good Citizenship. Just because I say no, I don't want to heist a bar, what's all the shouting?
How much money did you borrow, Barney?
$300, I told you.
How much did you pay back?
Nothing, I never had a chance. When he gave it to me, he said, forget it, kid. You help us, that's how you begin to pay it back. Look, what gives, Lieutenant? I told you that there, sitting right there in that chair a month ago when I first came in.
You sure it wasn't $500? Not $3? $5?
5 for 3. You get 3, but you sign for 5. Interest.
You know Link Toland?
No.
He knows you. He's a big fan of yours. He and his lawyers say you fingered Charlie to duck the payoff. They figured there never was going to be a holdup. It was just in your mind.
You believe him?
Mr. Toland is a very important man. Why should he get involved in a $500 scramble between you and one of his employees?
I don't know. Look, I never met him. Lieutenant, I gotta get home. Mr. Slate gave me the night off, and I gotta get home. Can I go now?
Yeah.
Barney? Barney! Look at this. First I thought he left chocolate milk by mistake, but this is black like tar.
Well, we'll get another bottle. I'll call.
Mrs. Saunders, you want it on the telephone.
makes milk white?
Cows.
Cows are brown,
How do you know? You never saw a cow.
and grass is green. Why is milk white?
A man on the phone. He said, how'd you like your milk this morning, Mrs. Saunders? I put ink in it. Next time, rat poison. It wasn't just what he said, it was that voice. It gave me the shivers.
Where do you think you're going? He just broke in, Mr. Toland.
I'm Barney Saunders, Mr. Toland. Look, I'm sorry, but I figured you wouldn't see me, and what I gotta say, you know? So you're just gonna sit there and stare at me? Well, that's too bad. I hope it gets better. Look, Mr. Toland, look, Charlie Briggs lied to you. Look, I know he works for you. He told me, he said you were a great guy. But believe me, I tried to pay him back. $50 a week, that was the deal. But Charlie said no. He wanted me to help him stick up the bar where I work. Now, Mr. Toland, Charlie's a bad boy. Look, I already received 2 phone calls. My wife got one, I got another. The kind of calls that won't let you sleep at night. Now, I want you to tell Charlie I can't get a message through to him. I want you to tell him to get off my back, to quit breathing on my family, and I'm not going to stand for it anymore. And that's all I'm going to say, Mr. Toland. Except that I'm sorry I busted in here like this.
Somebody shot it clear through.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I've assigned Detectives Adam Flint and Frank Acaro to him. They've worked with Sanders before, so they'll just be moving in on familiar ground. I'll keep in touch with you. That was the DA, Barney. Now, there'll be a patrolman outside your door at all times.
Yeah, but how about when she goes out the shop or down in the basement to do the wash?
Where she goes, the officer goes. Now, the grand jury has just returned an indictment against Charlie Briggs and his buddies. The DA is seeking a conviction with the maximum penalty. Without your testimony, it's just a lot of pie in the sky. So until the trial is up, you'll just have to get used to company. Adam and Frank.
It's almost 5 o'clock, Barney. We're going to be late for work.
You sure I can't pour you something a little stronger than ginger ale?
No, thank you, Mr. Slate. This is fine.
Look, I feel I've known you a very long time. A very long time, so call me Harold. Will you do me a favor?
Okay, Harold.
Can I ask you a personal question? No offense, please. Wouldn't it work just as good, maybe a little better, if you waited outside in the police car?
No, I'm afraid, Harold, that wouldn't work.
I didn't think it would. You're not mad I brought it up?
No, I'm not mad.
You see the guy sitting 6 stools down? He's been coming in here for 3.5 years like clockwork every single week. Never drinks less than 6 drinks. You know how many drinks he's been drinking tonight? 2. Huh? There he goes. What's tonight? The 3rd night you've been in here, right?
2nd night, Harold.
Okay, the 2nd night. Several of my regular customers have been calling me all day. What do you think they ask me? They say, Harold, your boyfriend the cop gonna hang around your joint tonight? How would you like to sit and try to enjoy a drink when there's another guy sitting next to you, cold sober, watching you?
Imagine that would be very unnerving, Harold.
That's the word. You said it. Unnerving. And I might add, it's pretty lousy for business, too. What if Charlie Briggs or one of his hoodlum friends comes walking in here tonight? Then what?
I think there's very little chance of that.
Oh, they're out on bail, aren't they? They're walking around the streets free? If you're so sure there's no danger, why is it you and the other cop don't take your eyes off of Barney for a minute, huh? That's what I figured.
Streets look different from inside a police car. Even the people look different. How do you feel?
What about?
About driving around in a car like this.
Well, you never feel alone. Maybe it's that two-way radio.
Yeah, I like riding around in this car.
All right, Briggs, hold it. Okay, Bags, just stand there.
You want to frisk me?
Put your hands on that railing. Bring your feet back.
I'm getting used to this position. It's very relaxing. It's good for my shoulder muscles.
What are you doing here?
I just moved in.
What?
I just moved in. Could I show you something?
Turn around.
Here's my receipt. First and last month.
You go near my wife, my kids, I'll take you apart bone by bone.
Did you hear what he said? He allowed to threaten me.
Okay, Barney, let's go.
Barney, don't get sore at me. It's not my fault.
What floor did you put him on?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Your floor. He's taking your apartment. Well, Mr. Harley said Friday or else out.
I gave you $50 this morning.
He wouldn't go for part of it. He wanted it all. $375. I knew you couldn't raise it, so when this guy come along, I didn't know who he was at first. I let him have your apartment.
Does Mrs. Saunders know about this?
Well, the fellow wanted to see what he was renting.
You let Charlie Briggs in my place with my kids!
I didn't know who he was until later. Anyway, the cop went in with him. Penny and the kids are all right, believe me. What was I gonna do? I only work here.
I'll go outside and have a smoke.
Barney, I'm going home. Are you coming with me?
Well, now, Penny, you know I can't. I have to wait for the trial.
Why did you have to do it? Do you think it's going to make any difference? Do you think it's going to change anything? You think there won't be any more Charlie Braggs? Barney, look what it's done to us.
Penny, I'm not going to let you go.
Barney, I'm going to take the children with me.
Look, Penny, don't do this to me. Just as strong as I am right now, that's how weak I can be. And if I ever start to bend, honey, I'll break wide open.
You're not coming with me.
Don't you understand? I can't. You gotta learn to believe in me the way I believe in you. Now, Penny, we're not gonna run away. We are not gonna hide.
What are you trying to prove?
Penny, listen. When I was 16, I spent a year at juvenile hall, and the only reason I got out as soon as I did was because Mama had started to die. And I remember I came in before she expected me. And she was lying on the couch, moving in pain, and every few minutes she would scream out with it. And when I went to her, she made herself shut up. Penny, she just swallowed that pain, and she smiled at me, and she got up and she fixed my supper. And the doctor said, we give her 1 month, 6 months at the most. Well, Penny, I never prayed before in my whole life, but I prayed then. I said, God, I'll do anything. Just tell me anything. And Mama heard me. She said, Barney, every month that you're a good boy, every month you do what has to be done, I'll make myself live. She lived almost 3 years. Penny. Now that's when I got in the habit of doing what has to be done. Now I don't know any other way anymore. I got a favor to ask.
Let me say what I gotta say first, Barney.
Look, I need an advance, Mr. Slate, otherwise I lose my apartment. Now, if you could take $25 a week out of my salary till we come even again.
Here. There's a week's salary. That includes tonight and tomorrow. Even though you won't be working here. That's why I called your wife to have you come over. I had to tell you in person, not cold on the telephone.
What do you mean I won't be working here tonight or tomorrow night?
Barney, I'm losing my shirt here playing the Good Samaritan for you. Last night when you left, I counted the receipts in less than 10 seconds. $12.85 on a Friday? How long can a guy go on with a $12.85 Friday? Look, Barney, I'm not firing you. I just want you to understand and look at it from my side. And when this trial is over and the thing cools down, your job will be here waiting for you. You understand me, don't you, Barney? No hard feelings, huh? Yeah? Okay. It's for you. Yeah.
Right. Barney, come on, we're in a hurry. Want me to hit the siren?
She said she'd wait until I came home tonight so we could talk about it some more. Why'd she run out without even a goodbye?
She left a note at the apartment. It said, ask him to forgive me.
Tell him I love him, but I'm not as strong as he is. Bonnie, I can't stay with him much longer.
Let her go, Mr. Flint. Let her go. Look, I want to walk. I want to get out and walk.
When they walk, they think. But when I walk, everything closes off, you know? I used to get headaches when I was a kid, so I'd walk around the block, the headache would go away. And I made a scale for trouble. So many blocks for so much trouble. That was when I was a kid. I wonder if there's enough blocks in Manhattan for me to walk off Penny and the kids.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Here we come, running on.
How'd you like your milk this morning, Mrs. Saunders? That was ink. I did it. Next time, rat poison. How about that now, huh? How about that?
How about what, Bonnie?
I want to go home.
Bonnie, it's a hair trigger. You have that hammer cocked. All you have to do is sneeze.
Don't make me sneeze, Mr. Flint.
What good is that gun gonna do you, Bonnie?
I'm gonna kill a man, Mr. Flint. That little box I found today was made by Toland Toys Incorporated. I'm gonna kill me a man, Mr. Flint. Link Toland. The man who did this to me and my family. Now, I want you to come into the bedroom. I'm gonna lock you in the closet.
Look, Bonnie. Wait a minute. Bonnie. Most people all their lives,
They expect something. They think the day is going to come when all their dreams are going to be fulfilled. Well, that's never going to happen, Barney. That day is never going to come. Because tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, something else is going to come along. It's going to hit you right between the eyes. And you're going to have a new problem to deal with.
Mr. Flint.
It might be a lot bigger problem than you have now. Barney, you want to kill Toland tonight, huh? You think that's going to help you? Well, maybe it will. Maybe it will help you. But what about tomorrow? What about tomorrow? And the day after tomorrow and the day after that? How will that...
Mr. Flint. Now, I want you to walk into the bedroom. Down on your knees. I'm gonna blow your head off. If you got something to say first, say it. Okay.
Go on and shoot. What difference does it make?
You're a big man with toys, aren't you, Mr. Toland? You like to play games with people, like some of these ex-cons you got working around here. Why? I kept asking myself, why does he do that? Charity, public service? Because that's the way he gets his kicks. You think men are like toys, can wind us up, aim us, and watch us go till we run down? There's got to be more to a man than springs and plastic and glue.
What makes you so sure?
Count them, Mr. Flint, they're all still in there. All the time that he was on his knees, he didn't care if he lived or died. He didn't care if I lived or died. Now, what was it you said about tomorrow may be worse than today and the next day worse than that? Well, I'll take it that way anytime.
Now and then, under the stars, there comes a man who looks into the face of misfortune and says, if I ever get used to it, I am lost. Such a man as Barney Saunders, age 25, 451 West 61st Street, New York City. There are 8 million stories in the naked city. This has been one of them.
This has been a Screen Gems film presentation. Herbert B. Leonard, executive producer.